ever asked yourself, why do we have to go to school? Yeah, you probably have when you were studying hurriedly at the last minute for an exam. I mean, seriously, why do we have to go to school? A simple answer to this is because we need to go to a good university and get a good job. But why? Because we need money to live. Why? Because that's how the world works. Well, now the world is changing. We're living in the fourth industrial revolution. Robots are replacing human jobs, and they're even teaching themselves how to do things that we could never think of. So are schools preparing the students to survive in this unpredictable future? Today, I want to share my experience in two different educational systems, the first being Korean educational system, and the second being one type of international education, the International Baccalaureate, in short, IB. At this point, I want to tell you a little bit about myself. I'm currently a grade 11 student at Western International School of Shanghai, and I came here about 1.5 years ago. Before that, I was in my home country, South Korea, as a typical Korean high school student. First, I want to tell you my experience in Korean educational system. While Korean educational system can be a great opportunity for other students, I found it not to be a good match for me. And here's why. Back in Korean high school, I had classes until 4 p.m. And this is pretty much the same here. However, we had something called 야간 자율학습, which means night self-study, and students had to study at school until 10 p.m. Yeah, it sounds insane. So I had this same routine from Monday to Friday, and the weekends were not better because I also had to go to Hagwon. Hagwon are private academies that help students with their school grades. They are sort of like private tutors, but they are classes with many other students in them. This is a picture of a street full of hagwon. Students would go to around 3 different subject hagwons per week and go to them after school or on the weekends. I only went to math hagwon, which was relatively less, but it was still stressful. Also, hagwon are not cheap at all because of the high demand for education in Korea. Despite the high price, parents feel obligated to pay for hagwon because they want to ensure that their child is getting the same opportunity and the training as other students do. This breathless life exhausted me, and that's why I came here. Of course, Korean education has succeeded to reach high academic performance in short time. According to OECD PISA, Korea was 7th in reading, 6th in mathematics, and 9th in science among the OECD countries. This is a really big achievement for Korea, as it had to create a new education system after the occupation of Japan and the Korean War. So I came to WISS, and I challenged myself to experience a different type of education that I wasn't aware of at the time. To be honest, I thought I wouldn't have to study as hard as I did in Korea anymore. But in fact, IB Diploma program didn't let me live my life easier. This is a diagram that shows the curriculum of IB Diploma program. Students have to take not only 6 subjects, but they also have to work on 3 core requirements, which are theory of knowledge, CAS, and the extended essay. Theory of knowledge is a philosophy class about knowledge, and it teaches how we know what we claim to know. I know it sounds weird, but we basically learn about knowledge. And CAS requires us to participate in various activities like sports, service, and learning new skills for at least 150 hours in total. And lastly, extended essay requires us to write a research paper based on the topic of our choice. Based on what I've experienced, both systems have given me some skills that I could use in the future. Korean education improved my perseverance, and the IB program improves my critical thinking skill and time management skills. But I believe the education can do better at training students to do well in the future. First of all, schools should teach about the changes in the world. That's the first thing. If students don't know what's going to happen in the future, then they obviously cannot prepare for it. And then schools should make the students be able to adapt to the new environment and situations. The students should know how to react to the changes in order to survive in it. And also, schools should encourage the students to be the change in the world and support them. These are just my opinions from a view of an ordinary student. So you should also try to think about this. The ultimate point that I'm trying to say is this: what is the right education model for you? Which system will allow you to be the best person you can be in this world? Well, some people might say, well, I'm too old to study. If you think education is just for students, you're wrong. Education is never ending until you die. A 70-year-old grandma trying to learn how to use a cell phone is demonstrating a form of education. Please pay attention to your education and think how you can improve it. Like I did 2 years ago, living behind Korean education, compare one education to another and see what option might be the best for you personally. The world is an ever-changing place. How can we improve education for the next generation of students? Let's work together to bring the change so that we could create an educational model that is both challenging and true to ourselves. Thank you.